watching Smackdown live on Tuesdays. Bryan always fades out during TNA.
Hello, everybody. It is the Filthy Four Daily Show. It is August 9, 2017. Filthy4online.com. Tom is here as always. Lots of stuff to talk about here today. Smackdown, Geek of the Week, the Royal Rumble, and more. Tom, what's going on?
Man, that music's loud.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
No, sorry about that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'll show you how to turn down those headphones later.
Yeah, I don't really care. I'll also apologize to the B-plus players if they're listening.
You're apologizing because they've written you off for all of your disrespectful whatever you've done?
My indiscretions.
Yeah. Sad.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Well, listen, we got a lot to get into here today,
hey,
Tom.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Did you get your internet fixed?
No, I have not.
No, you haven't. Well, I would suggest that no one help you because I still haven't gotten the $10 that you owe me, and you're promising $100? Yeah, right.
Well, maybe if you help me, I'd send you $110. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, I know what you mean. That you wouldn't send it. That's what you mean.
How dare you?
Tell the truth?
How dare you disrespect me like that?
Yeah, how dare I tell the truth about what's going on here?
I'm good for it. But anyway, we got to talk about Dana White's deal because I know that his new Tuesday night show with Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber and the whole crew apparently is your favorite show now. Is that right?
Well, it's pretty damn good. Each and every week, there's a lot of finishes, a lot of prospects. It's always a how would I say it? Trepidatious time, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word.
It's a trepidatious time.
Yeah, is that correct?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, each and every week they give away contracts, 2 of them usually. So even if you win your fight in spectacular fashion, you may or may not get picked up by the UFC. So,
well, one guy that got picked up by the UFC. We may have talked about it last week, but if not, refresh everybody's memories about your teammate who's now a contracted UFC fighter.
Oh yeah, last week in the main event or the featured bout, Julian Marquez, who was aptly named Sasquatch by Snoop Dogg, landed a vicious head kick. It was all over social media on Phil Hawes, and he got a UFC contract. And then actually yesterday, there was a guy who I used to train with up at Joe Lozon's gym in Massachusetts by the name of Mike Rodriguez, and he fought in the featured bout, and he landed a beautiful flying knee and knocked the guy out, and he also was awarded a UFC contract. But a story, I don't know if I've told this story on this show or not, but a couple of years ago I was training with this guy. I think I told it, but I was training with this guy and I was on top of him, holding him down, beating him up, and I threw up all over him.
I think you did tell this story.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that was the guy.
Well, yeah, it just happened yesterday.
Wow,
so.
Look at that! What a claim to fame! Filthy Tom threw up on you, and now you're a UFC fighter. That's pretty cool. Are you fixing to go kill that dog? Is that what's going on over there? You seem very distracted.
Yeah. I was looking outside, I was ready to go lay the smack down, but I don't even see the dog now. It's not one of mine, so.
What are these filthy neighborhood dogs? It's a loud dog over there. Man, oh man.
You're telling me.
Yeah. All right, let's start with SmackDown because we got the world famous 1992 Royal Rumble to talk about as well. So there's a lot of stuff. Well, let's get going.
Yeah, you could pretty much just cut that first 10 minutes off the show. I mean, it was pointless.
What are you talking about?
The conversation up to this point. I think it's some of the worst radio we've ever done.
Tom, I don't think you've heard this show much. We've had a lot of really, really bad radio.
I would have put myself through that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we have SmackDown Live from 8/8/2017 from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. and a video package opens up as we see the glistening red and black tights of Shinsuke Nakamura vibrating and gyrating their way to victory over perennial main eventer John Cena in the exciting main event of last week's SmackDown. After the show went off the air, a visibly upset Baron Corbin attacked Nakamura. However, his dastardly plan was foiled by John Cena, who delivered an AA off of the ring steps through a table to Baron Corbin. The aforementioned longstanding face of WWE, John Cena, emerges from the curtain with excitement pouring from his heavily protruding veins. Cena has taken to referring to himself as Super Cena during multiple promos, including this one since his return. As Cena recalls back to the match with the man from Japan last week, the crowd chants Nakamura. Cena puts over Nakamura, saying that in fact he just flat out lost. No screw jobs. He straight up lost. Some noticeably shitty new theme plays. Baron Corbin comes out. If the idea was to find music to truly match Corbin's appearances, they succeeded in commissioning this piece of shit. Cena calls Corbin a skinny fat, loudmouth, overrated dumpster fire, like a sign in the crowd says. The crowd gets a dumpster fire chant going as Cena challenges Corbin. Corbin decides not to answer that challenge, which apparently draws the ire of Daniel Bryan, who books them to do battle at SummerSlam.
How long did it take for you to write that prose right there?
That's how it's going to be from now on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you ever read, there's like a piece by, what's his name, Chuck Palahniuk, I think, that talks about how to write.
Sure.
So I read that, and I've been trying to write more in that manner.
Oh, wow. For a radio show.
Well, Vinny reads straight off of his notes.
He does. He read right off of his notes.
So I figure that there must be something to that.
But see, he does it differently. Like you are writing prose. Vinny is writing the words that come into his head so that when he reads them off the paper, a lot of people don't even know he's reading them off the paper. See what I mean?
Where are these words coming from? These are coming from my head.
They're coming from your head, but he's writing in a conversational manner. You're writing as if you're Shakespeare.
I'm explaining the scene.
Sure.
I'm a reporter.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. I'm just pointing out the difference between you and Vinny. And 100 pounds. Now,
I swear, I've never wanted to spear a dog.
I know, what is this dog doing?
Oh my God, I don't know.
All right, I'll hang out here while you go take care of this dog.
It's not my dog. I can't do anything.
What's its problem? Is someone getting robbed?
Oh my God, I gotta figure this out. Yeah, give me a second.
All right.
Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell is going on?
Now the dog's quiet. Oh. Sounds like the dog's in the house now. I thought my cats were annoying.
Oh my God. Sorry, it was Todd Martin.
So you got that handled? All right. As I was saying before, we were interrupted by this stupid dog here. So first off, Cena got dropped on his head and everybody thought he was dead. They show all the footage from last week after the match. He's totally fine. He comes out here. He's totally fine. Everything's great. He comes out. They're in Toronto. This is the best part on the entire show. Everybody is chanting his name. Nobody's chanting Cena sucks. They're all cheering for the guy. They're so happy. John Cena's caught off guard. John Cena is uncomfortable without getting boos. So that's when John Cena threw in that he was Super Cena, and he did in fact get some boos by saying those words. Then he was happy again. That was awesome. Corbin's music sucks.
What is this?
It's terrible. I don't know why they changed it.
It sounds like something Craig would like.
He is in fact skinny fat. And yeah, they signed a match for SummerSlam, and that was a segment. I sure hope. You know what? I was talking about this on another show. Somebody was asking. I'm going to tell you. Somebody else was asking about Nia Jax. Are they ever going to stop pushing her because she's killing people? And I pointed out that it's different for the women because there's no John Cena on the women's roster that's going to put in a bad word for somebody and get them fired. But this is John Cena that Baron Corbin is feuding with. And so far, they've gone one-on-one on the mic, and John Cena just massacred this guy and buried him 6 feet under. If they go for that match at SummerSlam and Baron Corbin has like a shitty match on pay-per-view, that may be the end for Baron Corbin.
Yeah. Thank God.
You got to step up when you're facing John Cena.
And I think that Nikki and Brie would have the power if they got injured by Nia Jax.
That's true, but they ain't
to
around.
be the ones to say enough is enough.
They ain't around.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but Brie is planning to come back, right?
Well, I think they're both planning on coming back at some point.
Huh. All right, so we have the Usos versus Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn up next. Ty and Sami run wild at the onset before we go to an early commercial. As we come back, Sami Zayn makes a hot tag after evading one of the Usos. The babyfaces hit some offense, including a dive by Sami Zayn, a sit-out spine buster in the ring by Ty Dillinger. Before the Usos' double-team maneuvers went out, they hit a stomp to the back of Ty's knee. The other Uso locks up a tequila sunrise to seal the submission victory. Largely a nothing match.
Yeah,
Dud.
Largely a nothing match with Sami Zayn in there just being a dude with Ty Dillinger. That ain't a good role for the guy. Dude. And where was Mike and Maria?
Well, there have been less, I guess.
They weren't even on this show.
Where was Chad Gable?
Not even on this show.
Not on the show. Where has Dolph Ziggler been?
Dolph Ziggler is probably going to be repackaged, if you must know.
You don't say.
Yeah. No, I do say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some info?
I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to be repackaged, whatever that means. Maybe they'll cut his hair and dye it brown again. Remember that one?
He's going to be a golfer.
I don't think so.
He's going to graduate from the caddy. No?
I would say that one is unlikely.
Okay. Well, Renee Young is backstage wearing Danny Davis's tights as a blouse, and she interviews Randy Orton, who threatens Rusev and Jinder en route to his grudge match with Jinder later tonight. This did nothing for me.
No, it did nothing for me either.
It was like the most basic, boring interview. At least it wasn't delivered in some poor manner, I guess. So next up, Tom Phillips presents us with a long, hard, cockamamie vignette put on by the Fashion Police as the Ascension. This is once again a Twin Peaks playoff, I believe. The Ascension take a pie. Dongo returns after spending time with aliens, and he is now clairvoyant. And Arn Anderson is revealed as cutting up Tully the horse because he was upset that the horse was not named Arn. And he also steals 2 donuts before he leaves. Dud.
Wow, a dud?
Yeah, -5 brain cells.
Man, oh man.
Well, what? It sucked.
You know,
I'm over it. I want to know who did it.
Well, you're not going to find out who did it for a while, it's looking like.
Not until Dolph is repackaged.
Our buddy Dez had sent me a text, and he said, I mean, I hadn't seen the show yet, and he was.
How did?
Yes.
He has your personal number?
Yeah.
I don't even have your personal number.
You text me every day, you idiot.
No.
So anyway.
Well, yeah, but you don't respond, so.
Well.
I'm pretty sure it's not your actual number.
I don't respond to what I'm sure are your bits. You've got a couple of bits.
Yeah, like, watch the fucking match I had with Kyle O'Reilly.
Tom has asked me to watch this Kyle O'Reilly match for, like, how long has it been?
Since it happened.
Since it happened, which was when?
Early May.
So he's been asking since May. Now when he texts me about it, I just ignore the text. Because it's a bit.
It's not. I'm asking you to watch it.
I know you want me to watch it. I will watch it, Tom. Fear not, Tom. Fear not. But, anyway, where was I here? So Dez tells me, he goes, all of the months of television and vignettes was so worth it for the payoff. So I went into this thinking this was the end. What's he talking about? This wasn't the end. It says to be continued. Now, granted, there was a payoff involving Arn Anderson, and that was good. But, like, there's no end in sight for this thing.
No.
It just keeps going and going.
How how many different little crimes were there? Because are they going to have to reveal each one? They're going to have to find out each.
I don't know.
Every one. Were there like 30 different ones?
I mean, my feeling is there is one mystery that it needs to be solved, which is who destroyed their office and who beat them both up.
But what if it's two different people or two different teams?
What do you mean two different teams? I mean, I'm pretty sure the idea is it's not. It's only one team.
Well, I would have thought that the person who cut up the stupid horse's head would have been one of the people in that team as well. Not Arn Anderson.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. All I know is
where Fandango's been with aliens, and now he comes back and he can tell the future.
More
Are you
to
kidding
come.
me?
Yep.
Oh my God! I hope it's Mordecai.
I hope it's not Mordecai. I remember Mordecai.
You know who I hope it is? I hope it's Mordecai and Kevin Thorne as a tag team.
Well, it ain't gonna be.
Man, you should watch Mordecai versus Swoggle.
Oh, is that another one I got added to my list?
Yeah, that and Swoggle versus Chuck Taylor in the TLC match.
I'll make sure to check
That
both
was a
these
good
out.
one, too. That was a really good one. So we have Charlotte Flair versus Lana. So we get some bizarre inset from last week of Lana saying she admires Tamina's ability in the ring, but wants to be more charismatic and, of course, more ravishing.
Tom, may I jump in real quick on this?
Yeah.
All right. You just went on and on about here. You're so over the Fashion Police segments. I am so over whatever the fuck they're doing with Lana. Can we just end it? Like, what is going on? She came out here again. She's had nothing but bad matches and lost. She's in some bizarre relationship with Tamina that cannot be explained. She comes out here against Charlotte as, I guess Charlotte's supposed to be the babyface, but Charlotte was so bitchy to Lana during this match. Just embarrasses her and is laughing and is treating her like she's nothing. She submits her. Lana loses yet again. And then later we go backstage and there is a bizarre interview with Lana and Tamina, which I still, to this day, I don't understand what's going on. Tamina buries her. Lana says, "You've made your point, now go." And Tamina says, "Listen, you're never going to wrestle like me." Lana says, "You'll never be ravishing like me." And Tamina says, "It's not your ability getting you these shots, it's your ambition. Now you're going to get me a title shot." What? What? I mean, can anybody explain this to me?
I think they're baby faces.
What? They're not baby faces.
I think they are.
Well, anyway, I thought this sucked. I thought the match sucked. I thought the thing with Tamina sucked afterwards. I think the storyline sucks. I'm over it. I'm done with it.
Come on.
It sucks.
First of all, the Athletic Commission should have licensed this match. You notice Lana got all fired up and then grabbed a headlock.
Yeah. Yeah, they build her to this spot where she's just being humiliated in the ring, and she gets so mad, and finally she decides she's going to put one over on Charlotte, and she charges with a head of steam and grabs a hold. It sucks, Tom. It sucks.
Hey, you know who could get away with that? Probably me.
Well, you know what?
Run and grab a hold?
You ain't that ravishing.
Come on. Well, I'm not going to grab a headlock. Not that one, at least. So Charlotte yanks her into the figure eight after a big boot. After Lana slapped her, Lana forced to submit. There was a Shane, Owens, and AJ interview. It was all good. Owens brought up the Montreal Screwjob. Actually, it was really good. Owens brought up the Montreal Screwjob, said that Brett deserved it. Yeah, thanks.
And then what happened?
You can go ahead.
That's nothing. Basically, Shane is the referee.
Hey, good job.
And neither of them wants Shane to be a referee because he's fucked both of them. He's got to act like a tough guy again. I mean, listen, I'm not going to bury this because everybody always gets mad because they love Shane and everything with Shane is magic. But I mean, come on.
What?
We got another AJ Owens match, which I don't want to see. And this time, we've got a referee who's invariably going to get involved in some way. You know what, El? I'm over this one, too. I'm over it.
I still think the match will be good. So, and I like good matches, so there you go.
Did you watch their last match on the pay-per-view that was not good?
No. Did you watch me versus Kyle O'Reilly?
Tom, please.
What?
Can we move on?
So Lana and Tamina had a bizarre segment where Tamina... Oh, we already went over that. Carmella versus Naomi.
Did you also really write bizarre like I did?
Lana and Tamina had a bizarre segment.
Look
where
at that.
Tamina berated Lana for her earlier comments.
Great black belts think alike.
Tamina then did an about face and said it was Lana's ambition that got her 3 title shots and said now Lana will help her get hers. That's what I wrote.
Sweet.
Carmella versus Naomi. Naomi pretty much just beats up Carmella. We go to commercial. We come back. Naomi lands some Muay Thai leg kicks. Actually, this is during the break. She lands some Muay Thai leg kicks. However, Carmella catches one and trips her to the mat, then intermittently applies some holds. Naomi flattens Carmella's face with a kick. Carmella fights back as Naomi scales the ropes. The ref is distracted by Carmella, and James Ellsworth suddenly appears, pushes Naomi to the canvas, allowing Carmella to make the cover and get the win. Backstage, after commercial, Carmella and James are walking, and in another bizarre segment, Natty approaches. She exchanges lightly insulting words with Ellsworth as they insinuate that Natty has no chance in her title opportunity against Naomi at SummerSlam.
Well, going back to the match here, first off, when James Ellsworth returned, everybody went crazy. They love James Ellsworth. However, his goal is what he's supposed to do is like trip up Naomi, and she's supposed to neck the top rope. He grabs her feet. Naomi jumps off the top rope. She misses the top rope. She falls into the top rope upon landing. She falls down. She's pinned. She then lays there on the mat like she's dead. Why didn't Carmella cash in right then? What was she waiting for? Anyone have any idea? I don't. Should also note that I figured they were going to save Ellsworth to the actual cash-in, but nope.
Yeah, like I said last week, you mean?
Yeah, but he was off TV for 1 month, exactly as he was suspended for, and then he just came back. What was the point of that?
Well, yeah, that's a really good question. We had the main event next. Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. Randy Orton won clean in the middle over the world champion with an RKO as Jinder went for his finisher, the Colossus. The crowd was pro-Jinder, which was bizarre.
Well, it goes to show
even
you that
despite the fact that he's Canadian.
they don't see him as an Indian superstar. They see him as a Canadian.
Yeah.
And so they cheered him and they booed Randy. This was the best I've ever seen out of Jinder. It was the best match he's had. It was the best crowd reaction. It was the most he came across like a superstar. And it was the most he came across like a champion. And then he did the job.
Well, he wrestled primarily in the babyface role.
Yep.
So, right? Maybe he's better off.
I mean, can you imagine they finally have a scenario where he's over and the first thing they do is beat him? Can you imagine? I mean, it happened.
Yeah. I mean, the match was fine, good. They started off brawling, then they transitioned to becoming a wrestling match. They each hit their signature spots. After the match, Randy posed on the ramp, and then he was laid out from behind by Rusev. Handsome Rusev back in the mix.
Thank God Rusev is back. We'll see how that match is at SummerSlam. You don't sound like you're all into this Smackdown lately, Tom. Just not feeling it?
That was all right.
No?
There wasn't much to the show yesterday.
The Fashion Police, just as soon as you saw it, it was just all over for you.
Killed me. Yeah, the Usos match was not really much of anything, and I really enjoy them. So I would have liked to see, a better match, essentially, there. They could have done a lot more. Charlotte and Lana, I mean, come on.
This goddamn Lana storyline, I mean, come on.
Carmella and Naomi, I mean,
come on,
Yeah. Those are the 4 matches, so what do you want me to say? John Cena's interview was good.
Yeah. And the main event was good. Jinder came across like a star.
But it was uneventful. I guess Corbin and Cena at Mania is the big news, right?
SummerSlam, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there was a Nakamura promo that I failed to mention in there. I think he's going to beat Jinder.
He's not.
Oh, come on. I'm feeling it. No?
Well, okay, listen. Maybe he could beat Jinder, okay? Vince could wake up on any day and decide that he wants to beat Jinder. But
like yesterday.
Based on how they book, I mean, unless he's already given up on Jinder, and that's why Jinder lost to Randy. I mean, Nakamura beat Cena. Jinder lost to Randy. In WWE math, this means Jinder beats Nakamura. That's just the way they do things.
Okay.
Your child agrees with me, so just want you to know that.
I doubt that's actually what's happening.
Tom, I don't want to come across like a creep, but your son is so cute. Have I told you this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun, too.
It's unbelievable how cute he is. Like, I've seen you. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
You know
I
what I mean.
appreciate it.
Now,
Well,
he's a
I've taken
handsome young man, though, isn't he?
Yeah, of course.
It's crazy.
I've taken a beating over a long time as well, so some of my features
That
are
is true.
too deep set to be considered classically handsome.
But, I mean, he's 1 year older than Paisley, and she's going to have a lot of suitors. But I can let you know right now that Finn is at the top of my list as a potential suitor for young Paisley.
Yeah, well.
And she's very cute, too, Tom.
Who, Paisley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's only going to get cuter.
I have a daughter, too, who's also very beautiful.
That's right. But I don't have a son yet, so
Well.
later on.
What the hell?
Just try to hook all of them up. Come on.
Yeah,
we
come
could be
on.
one big happy family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like we are here on the air.
Maybe we'll get Craig's son.
Dude, Craig's son is like 12 or 13.
What's your point?
That's a big age difference.
It's 2017. I mean, I don't want 12 or 13 now.
See, exactly.
You know, like when they're 50, when they're retired.
So your daughter's gonna
stuff.
retire unmarried, and then Cameron's gonna be right there.
Yeah, perhaps it will spark love over their love of wrestling.
Well, maybe they will. All right, let's talk about Royal Rumble
My
92.
daughter's on her way to being the next Bertha Faye.
Wow.
She is a big girl.
Well, you know, they
Royal
even out.
Rumble 1992. Oh my God!
God, they're louder than
Between
the
the dogs and this, yeah, it's crazy. So we'll start off with the interviews. Did you watch the interviews?
No, I didn't watch the interviews. I watched the
All right.
post-match interview, but not the pre-match.
Yeah. So we had Sean Mooney, I believe.
I was busy.
interviewing Shawn Michaels. Were you busy watching my match versus Kyle O'Reilly?
Come on, Tom, please.
Shawn Michaels says he saved Marty Jannetty from 29 other beatings by turning on him during the barbershop window incident. So this.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yep. Then we get a Coliseum home video exclusive here on the WWE Network as Lord Alfred Hayes interviewed Ric Flair. Now, you know, where was Dasha?
She's probably unborn.
No, but where was she on SmackDown?
Oh, I haven't seen her for a while.
Huh.
Maybe they smartened up.
Lord Alfred Hayes made her look really good because he was awful.
She was 4, by the way, during this Rumble.
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
Ric Flair lets us know that he drew number 3, but it doesn't matter to him. He's going to go all the way.
So that was on the Coliseum home video.
Coliseum home video exclusive, yes.
Okay, now...
So Lord Alfred Hayes interview.
Okay, so if anybody can answer me this question. So, I won't spoil the ending of this Rumble, but I will say, before we get to it, that there was an incident at the end of this Rumble where the fans cheered like crazy. And the company didn't want them to cheer like crazy. And so for the home video release, they edited in a bunch of boos. So I want to know, for those of you that remember watching this live and who had the Coliseum home video, is the Royal Rumble 1992 on the WWE Network the Coliseum home video release? Or is it the actual pay-per-view feed? That's my question.
Are you talking about when Nasty Boy Sags got eliminated?
No, but close. It was another Nasty Boy got eliminated.
Okay.
There's a friend of the Nasty Boys.
Way to blow it.
They had a lot of friends.
Oh, that's true. So did Bubba.
Where was Knobs? He wasn't in this.
Who cares? Sags wasn't in last year.
Well, I mean, Knobs was one of the final 3 last year.
Big John Studd won it the second year. He wasn't there this year.
He was deceased, Tom.
In 1992?
I think it might have been slightly later, but it wasn't much.
Okay. Well, I apologize. Anyways, Macho Man says that he's going back to the top of the mountain, but he wants to get his hands on the Snake Man during the process. Sid cut an entire promo while gritting his teeth. I did not know that was possible. Davey Boy mentions that last time he was in a battle royal, he won it in his hometown at the Royal Albert Hall. Imagine that. He went over in his hometown. He was like the only guy that ever did so. Jake, the Snake, a heel at this point, asks us to trust him. I don't. Perfect and Flair talk about how amazing Flair is. Flair spit all of his catchphrases. Paul Bearer says his funeral parlor will be very busy as The Undertaker looks on in the background. Hulk Hogan says he's always... Oh, Hulk Hogan. You didn't see this one?
I didn't see Hogan, but before you talk about Hogan, isn't it funny that, like, the Undertaker character, he never broke kayfabe? Well, I guess he did a little bit kind of in the late 90s, early 2000s when he was a goddamn biker, but, I mean, it was a very, like, I guess it was a cartoonish gimmick, but they protected that guy so much like he was such a megastar, and meanwhile, his manager was such a clown. And believe me,
Yeah.
I love Paul Bearer more than most people. He's the greatest. But he was a total clown. And him doing these wacky promos while The Undertaker stands behind him, it's comical. But it got over.
Yeah, I love it. So Hulk Hogan, right? Let me tell you, Mean Gene. He's out there doing his interview. He said, look, brother, I'm always getting cheap-shotted by my friends, getting hit in the back. I'm getting cheap-shotted by Jack Tunney. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, we'll get to him later.
Yeah. Well, apparently, what was the story with him and Sid leading up to this? Why was the title held up? Refresh my memory.
All right, the title was held up because there was an Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan match.
Ah.
Yes, and then they did a rematch at Tuesday in Texas, and there was a whole rigmarole, so they held up the title. It had nothing to do with Sid. Sid was still a babyface at this point.
Okay.
But he was fixing to turn.
Yeah, thanks. So, did he really? I don't think so. So
what do you mean, did he really? Did he really what?
Well, we'll get to it. So the Fink opens us up. He introduces the match. But first introduces Jack Tunney, who comes out and proves that the bumbling authority figure has been a long-time WWE character in their universe. Tunney gets booed by the crowd and butchers the interview something fierce, but lets us know that this match is for the World Heavyweight title. So, number one, British Bulldog comes in, coming straight off of winning that Battle Royal at the Royal Albert Hall. Number two, Ted DiBiase, who was unlucky once again in his draw. However, he has the strong presence of sensational Sherry to ease his sorrows.
Dude, not only that, he had the strong presence of his music, which is like one of the greatest themes in the history of wrestling. That music hit, I was so excited for this Royal Rumble when they hit that music.
He runs in, beats the crap out of British Bulldog for 2 minutes. Just beats him up. Bulldog gets no offense. Nonchalantly tosses him over the top. Bulldog hangs on. DiBiase gloats and plays to the crowd opposite of the Bulldog. And the Bulldog comes back in and eliminates Ted DiBiase with a clothesline before number three could even enter. So number three comes out, and who is it but none other than Ric Flair.
So apparently the story here is that Bobby Heenan, when they were doing ideas for the Royal Rumble, Bobby Heenan was the one who said that Ric Flair should be number one. And Vince said, he ain't going to be number one. And then Vince said, God damn, I got a great idea. He's going to be number three. So he came in at number three and won the whole thing. He's an amazing man.
So Bobby Heenan freaking out on commentary. People are throwing shit at Ric Flair and his valet, Mr. Perfect. Number four, Nasty Boy Sags comes in, moderately helps Ric Flair before the Bulldog drop kicks Sags to eliminate him before number five can come out.
Before five, I got to mention one thing. So Flair comes out and Heenan's screaming, he's mad, damn it, blah, 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 blah. And Gorilla fucking Monsoon tells him, kiss it goodbye, Bobby. Bobby tries to calm down. He says, okay, we got this. Gorilla says, Bobby, are you listening to me? The man's got no chance. There's no chance that he can win this Royal Rumble. Now, remember like last year when the two guys were in the ring and Gorilla's like, well, these two men have no chance of winning. And I was like, well, fuck you, Gorilla. I'll leave the room until number 20 comes in. Well, as it turns out, Gorilla, I mean, obviously he wasn't setting this up, but that paid off a year later when Ric Flair came in at number 3, and Gorilla was so adamant that nobody this early could possibly win the Royal Rumble, and he went on to do it. And the other thing I want to mention is Gorilla fucking Monsoon, of all people, kept telling Bobby Heenan he needs to be objective. I was like, are you kidding me, Gorilla? Are you kidding me, you idiot? Anyway.
Bobby Heenan, right at the outset, said he was going to have a hard time being objective during the match. So, prefaced it. Anyways, man, I screwed up on the numbering of the entrance.
Well, Haku is in next.
It's pissing me off in my notes. Sorry. So, Haku's next at number 5, I believe. Yeah, number 5.
The numbers don't matter, but Haku is next.
It comes in, helps Flair, before Flair immediately turns on him like any good heel would. And right before number 6 comes in, Davey Boy dumps Haku. So 3 in a row.
Hey, at least I got to see Ric Flair and Haku have a battle. That was worth it.
Chop battle. So then we have a newly singles heel, Shawn Michaels. He and Flair battle right away. Shawn hits a crescent kick to drop Flair to the mat.
Dude, he was hitting super kicks right and left here.
Tito Santana's next. Barbarian after him. Nothing of note goes on until a crowd goes nuts for Texas Tornado. He says, or Heenan on the commentary says, the guys just keep getting bigger and bigger. But he said that about Barbarian too.
Yeah.
And Barbarian's bigger than Texas Tornado.
Yeah,
so
Kerry Von Erich is not bigger than the Barbarian. That is an incorrect statement.
It's a fallacy.
A fallacy? It's a fallacy. It's not cock related. Now, I will say that Flair and Kerry go... Here's the thing about Flair. Flair, okay, he's in there for, 58 minutes or whatever. So he is in there, and all he does is sell and sell and sell and sell and sell and sell and take backdrop after backdrop after backdrop after backdrop. Every time somebody new came in the ring, if they were any good, so he avoided the Repo Man. If they were any good... Flair went after them and started working with them. He worked with Meng. He worked with Michaels. He worked with Kerry Von Erich. All these guys. He would go in there. He would sell like crazy for him. He would do a Flair flop over and over and over again. He was the best.
Like you said, Repo Man creeps his way down to the ring. Gorilla's screaming that he's wasting his time. The Brain thankfully corrects him and points out how intelligent of a move it is.
I will say, by the way, the Repo Man, I may be wrong about this, I may have said this last week, but I believe that the Repo Man was the first guy in the history of the Royal Rumble that came out and got no reaction and nobody thought he had any chance of winning. You know what I mean?
The crowd was dead.
Like the first year, they were going crazy for everybody, including the jobbers. The second year, they were going crazy for everybody, a little less crazy. This year, we finally had a fucking guy come out, and everyone was like, well, this guy ain't winning. Who gives a shit about the Repo Man?
Give it a few weeks when the Godwins are coming out. I mean, what do you think we're going to be thinking then?
I don't know.
Or like fucking Lizmark, I think. Isn't Lizmark one of the Rumbles? Or like
Carlos Colon.
Mil Mascaras is in
Even
one.
Greg the Hammer Valentine got a pop when he came in next.
Mil Mascaras jumps off the top turnbuckle to eliminate himself in one of the Rumbles, I believe.
Oh, we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Oh, my God. Well, it wasn't in this match.
We'll talk about something similar in this match.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Don't even get me started. Yeah. So Greg Valentine comes in. Nikolai Volkov comes in. Greg Valentine figure fours Ric Flair. Repo Man backdrops Volkov out of the ring. Boss Man comes in. Boss Man gets a huge ovation, actually.
Oh, my God. It's so weird watching 1 year at a time because so much happens in a year sometimes. Like, the big Boss Man got cheered. The Big Boss Man has been the biggest heel, one of the biggest heels in this company for years, and all of a sudden now he's a babyface. And wait till we get to Jake the Snake, who every single year so far has gotten a gigantic pop when he came out. Comes out this year, he's booed, and I was like, whoa. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect, on commentary, they explained why. We'll get to that. So Boss Man comes in, and he looks pretty trim. Unloads a ton of punches. The crowd's going nuts. Boss Man gets rid of Repo Man. I'm going nuts. At this moment, I noticed that, man, this Davey Boy Smith, the stamina of this guy, remarkable for powerhouse wrestler, and he gets eliminated. Literally as I started typing that.
Yeah.
Gets eliminated by Kerry Von Erich.
The one thing I noticed about this Rumble was they would start with two guys, obviously. Guys would get eliminated here and there, and then the ring would start to fill up. And every time when I felt like, okay, now this is just a Geek Battle Royal, there's too many guys in the ring, suddenly they'd all abandon ship, and they'd start all over again. And it would build up until it was a Geek Battle Royal, then they'd all abandon ship again. It's a very well-paced Rumble.
Yeah, just like 2 years ago. So they face off. Boss Man. Okay, so hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Hercules comes out. Flair and Barbarian high five. And then the Barbarian turns around and Flair immediately starts chopping him. Hercules eliminates Barbarian. Boss Man gets rid of Hercules. Boss Man and Flair face off. Boss Man hits these fucking ropes so hard. Goes for a crossbody from the middle of the ring. Flair ducks. Boss Man gets hung up on the top rope, flies over the top, eliminates himself. Flair does the Flair flop, lays face down in the ring, waiting for the next guy.
Okay, now before we get to the next guy, first off, where the hell did Shawn Michaels go? Like, next thing I know, he's just gone as someone was doing their entrance. I don't even know what happened to him. So, Boss Man and Flair are together in the ring.
I think maybe Davey Boy got rid of him.
It could have been. But all I know is that when we first started watching those NWA World Championship Wrestling shows, Ric Flair was the heavyweight champion of the world. He was the biggest star. He was like the guy. And Big Boss Man was Ray Taylor, his first night in. A fat jobber. Just the fattest, worst jobber you've ever seen. Here these guys are in the middle of the ring, like 7 years later, and Ric Flair is bouncing all over the place for the Big Boss Man. He's going up, he's going down, he's flying hither and yon. And then Boss Man goes for his dive, goes over the top. Not only does he get hung up on the top rope, when he goes over the top, his neck, he hangs himself on the bottom rope on the way out.
Maybe that's where I get the idea for the WrestleMania spot.
It could have been. This was brutality.
Hey, I already hung myself once. Might as well try it again.
And Flair is all alone in the ring.
Yep. Not for long, though, because next up is Roddy Piper. Comes in, once again, Flair's bumping all over the place, almost 30 minutes into the match. Piper, instead of eliminating him, I question this tactic, decides to lock up a sleeper, has it in.
Yeah, he ran out of moves.
Then
he was like, God damn it, there's like 30 seconds left. I better put him in a sleeper.
Should have gone for the catapult. Then Jake Roberts comes in, and like you said, booed to high heaven. So Jake comes in, decides to just sit in the corner, allows Piper to choke Flair before coming over and kicking Piper for some unknown reason. All three men battle before Hacksaw Jim Duggan emerges from the back, followed by the amazingly named Erwin R. Shyster, just one of the best all-time heel gimmicks.
Oh God!
Then the Brain. Well, you don't like IRS? I love it.
Dude, these stupid gimmicks from this era, they were horrible.
This one was great.
Horrible.
Brain mentions on commentary that Jake the Snake Roberts is worried, looking over his shoulder the whole time, for the Macho Man. He doesn't want to be confronted by him because Jake Roberts slapped Elizabeth in the face.
Can you imagine?
No. I was aghast, actually.
He also had his snake bite Randy.
Well, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So the same angle here?
I think.
Or is this like two separate feuds?
No, it would have been 91 SummerSlam because it was a match made in heaven, the match made in hell. So the Randy Jake thing was after the 91 SummerSlam. So he'd been bitten by the snake months earlier.
Huh. So
it's my childhood, baby. I remember this stuff. I remember that snake gnawing on his arm.
I'm not surprised. You're still the same size, too.
How dare you? I mean, I am.
Jimmy Snuka's next, along with a strange-looking, still, Undertaker. His makeup was like grayish, bluish. It made him look like he was a recently dead body.
40 seconds to get to the ring.
Well, he has up to a minute, right? In these made-up rules.
Whatever their made-up rules are. I mean, he's got all night, I think,
So,
as Vince McMahon showed us.
Macho Man's next. Sprints to the ring, looking for Jake the Snake Roberts, who had scampered outside. Before he can find him, Undertaker cuts him off from behind, allows Jake to come in and attack as well. Macho Man ducks a clothesline from Jake, starts beating the holy hell out of him, knees him in the back, sends him over the top rope, eliminates him, decides to springboard in a fit of rage all the way to the floor, starts rape choking him. The Undertaker goes outside, tries to throw Macho Man in the ring. Macho Man runs back outside, goes after Jake again. On commentary, you could tell something was wrong. Macho Man must have screwed up, clearly, because on commentary they have some rule. They're trying to get word from the back. What's the clarification? And they come back with, well, you have to be propelled by somebody to be eliminated.
Yeah. They made it up on the fly because this numbskull eliminated himself. And then they had to figure out a way to get him back in, which is funny because, like, he didn't need to be back in. Like, he wasn't winning. And he didn't really play into the finish all that much. I mean, there was nothing that he did where he needed to be in there. I mean, I guess actually there was one reason. The only reason he needed to be back in is because Ric Flair eliminated Randy Savage. And there's a whole rigmarole after the Royal Rumble where they do the announcement, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it ends up being Flair and Savage for the title at Mania, which Savage wins. So I presume that maybe their whole thing was, well, Flair's got to eliminate Savage here, and so that's why he had to go back in.
So Berserker and Virgil are the next two. Virgil got a big pop, by the way. Bryan makes a comment that with Virgil at number 23, imagine how many bags he has gone through in the back. Iron Sheik with Colonel Mustafa.
Doing a bushwhacker walk?
Exactly.
For some unknown reason.
Iron Sheik with Colonel Mustafa is next, and for some reason they are doing the bushwhacker walk. It's verbatim. Rick Martel's next, followed by the immoral Hulk Hogan, who eliminates The Undertaker and the Berserker, followed by Virgil and Hacksaw barreling over the top together. Next, we have Skinner. And this was the second guy. He got actually less of a pop than the Repo Man, I think. Skinner is gone. Sergeant Slaughter makes his way down. Sid Justice comes out in the babiest blue tights ever, looking like he walked right off the Miami Dolphins practice squad. Finally, we get the Warlord at number 30. So there's 9 men left. No one else to enter. Hogan and Flair battling each other on the outside.
Can I add, by the way, that when 30 men are in the ring, there's no more men to enter. A bunch of fans still had stopwatches. And with 10 seconds left, they counted down to 0 and then were very disappointed. Like, you idiots. You're going out of your way to time the entrances, but you're not actually counting how many guys are in the ring or have come out so far. But yeah.
So, Sid and Hogan eliminate Warlord. Sid eliminates Martel and Piper. He goes to eliminate Savage. Flair needs Justice. He needs Sid Justice in the back, which eliminated Macho Man. He didn't even, necessarily do it directly.
No, but he was responsible.
But who gets the credit for that elimination?
Well, I mean, the point also is that Sid could have fucked something up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could happen right here.
Sid wisely stands back and watches Flair and Hogan fight each other. Eliminates Hogan to a huge applause.
So this must be the pay-per-view feed, because on the Coliseum video, I remember this too, because on the Coliseum video, they not only edited in booze, but Gorilla Monsoon, they made him go into studio and do this big long spiel about how terrible it was that Sid had cheated and thrown the guy out from behind.
Yeah. Hogan on the outside bitches and complains about him and Sid having a handshake agreement. They verbally spar. Sid is complaining about Hogan screwing him out of the title or something. Hogan grabs Sid Justice by the wrist, is pulling on him, trying to pull him over the top rope. Flair sneaks up from behind, grabs him by the leg, dumps him over the top rope as Hulk Hogan helps pull him down to become the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Hogan and Justice push and shove each other in the ring as some asshole in the crowd cranks on a vuvuzela. They continue to posture for minutes in front of the fans. We go to the back. Gene is with Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Essentially, Ric Flair says that with a tear in his eye, this is the greatest moment of his life.
What's going on over there?
It's a comedy of errors today, Brian.
Yeah, I could tell. You did half that review looking off screen.
No, I wasn't.
Looking off mic. Yeah, I could hear it. What is going on over there? Do you need to intervene?
I hope not.
Is that happiness or is that sadness?
I don't know. I'm in here doing my job.
Man. They're
trying to.
They're killing my 92 Royal Rumble review. Well, anyway.
The match is over, so.
So the post-fight interview was awesome. Post-match interview. It's the best belt there's ever been in all of professional wrestling. And Ric Flair, on the basis of this win, is one of the few men who can legitimately say that he did in fact go through 30 men to win the Royal Rumble. Because he went after all of them. That is 29, but still. He went through every single guy, for the most part, that got in that ring, with the exception of geeks like the Repo Man and Virgil. He fought everybody, and he was the one standing in the end.
Yeah, the only guy that he wasn't there for, essentially, was Ted DiBiase. He was the only guy that he didn't share ring time with.
That's right. That's the only guy.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels, by the way, was eliminated by Tito Santana.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Of all people. Tito Santana?
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Why?
All right, you ready for the Geek of the Week? Yeah. Might want some volume here.
What's wrong with Tito Santana?
Geek of the Week. I like Tito Santana, but he was a geek, and Sean was supposed to be like a big star now. Come on. All right, who's the Geek of the Week?
You know, I think it's Nia Jax.
Now it's Nia Jax?
Well, we did not know the severity of Bayley's injury.
I did. I fucking called it the night it happened. I told you the two spots it would happen. I told you why it happened. I told you how she landed. I called the whole thing. I told you the exact injury a week before it happened.
Good for you, slapnuts. Well, I'm telling you, when we found out was this week, right?
Well, when you found out, I knew immediately.
Oh, my God. Well, I'm not some insider, some dirt sheet insider like you.
Yeah, I'm an injury insider because I had the same goddamn injury doing the exact same thing.
I'm out there trying to make towns, make some money for my family. I'm not sitting around, harassing people via text message and not answering other people's texts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, anyway, she beat her up and she broke her shoulder, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
So now you agree she's the Geek of the Week?
Yep.
Wow, that was easy. So I was right last week.
No.
Honest to God, I don't have anybody. I've been trying to think about it. Like, there's no one that's really stuck out as a geek anymore. I mean, you could always go with Enzo. I mean, he was a total geek. You can always go with Sammy. I mean, teaming with Ty Dillinger and just losing.
Yeah, but at least he didn't take the fall.
Yeah, these are all geek-worthy, but I mean, we've seen it happen a million times. I mean, it's got to be Nia. We got to give it to her. She deserves it after what she did to Bayley. Do you hear me? I'm going to give it to whatever child is down there crying for 15 minutes on this show next week.
Oh, it's killing me, man.
This day, Tom, you've had dogs, you've had crying children.
Jesus. I'm pretty sure that's happiness.
I sure hope so. It sounds like something terrible is going on down there.
All right.
Well, Tom, before we go today, I've got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
I watched Tom Lawlor versus Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh, really?
I sure did.
While this show was going on?
No, I watched it. I watched it before the show. That's why I was a little bit late.
Yeah, right.
So I was a little bit late. It actually was a really good match. If I have one criticism...
I don't want to hear it.
Which isn't even really a criticism. No. It's not even really a criticism. It's just funny because wrestling is... Like, you just got to accept a lot of goofy things in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, guys bounce off the ropes or whatever. I loved that the first 5 minutes of this match, you guys are out there like having a grappling battle. And you're doing real legit grappling. You're fighting for holds, you're fighting for ankle locks, you're going back and forth. Where, like, if you get anything on, it's over. You slap on the heel hook right, it's over. You slap on the armbar right, it's over. It's legit, it's real. But then it breaks down into a match where Kyle's working over your shoulder. Like he's trying to soften up your shoulder for a hold. I'm like, what? But other than that, I thought it was very good. Your suplexes are great. Your selling is a lot better. You had the longest Fry Takayama spot I think I've ever seen in the history of wrestling. You literally fought in the middle of the ring. You Fry Takayama to one corner. You Fry Takayama all the way back to the other corner. And you Fry Takayama all the way back to the middle of the ring. It was very impressive. You had the famed double big boot spot, which is one of my favorite spots in all of wrestling. And somehow you guys pulled it off, much better than The Undertaker and Sid ever did. I've got to try the guillotine into an airplane spin spot on Wang. Looked like a winner. And I could not come up with a good name for the finish, although I racked my brain. Like the Tom Twister.
No, that's the USADA lock.
Is that what's called, the USADA lock?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. No, you guys really did a great job.
That's the USADA lock. I also have the Alaskan pipeline.
Which one is that?
Mine. It's a slam.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very impressed, Tom. But it was a match right up your alley, you know what I mean? Like, if everybody could work like Kyle O'Reilly, you'd be up there having 5-star matches every night.
Lots of high flying.
There was not a lot of high... Oh, actually, there was another great spot, if you want to call it that. You did a Thez press into a mount.
Yeah.
To a mounted armbar attempt. I don't know why I laughed, but it was funny.
I actually do a springboard into that, into like the mount from the outside.
A springboard Thez press into a mount.
I start on the outside. I like body slam the guys who's on the ground. I start on the outside. I get the crowd going, and then I springboard myself over into mount and land some punches and strikes.
Now, I do have one question for you about this match, since you were a participant. So early on, you guys are trading strikes back and forth, and you, like it was your turn to throw the strike, but you hesitated, and then you started selling your stomach
body
and you
shot.
collapsed. So that was by design the delayed reaction of a body shot.
Correct.
That wasn't you forgetting your spot.
No.
Wow, that's very, very high end, Tom.
Yeah, but you had to ask. So.
Well, no. The commentator explained that that's what happened, but I wanted to make sure that he wasn't full of shit.
No, he was right.
Look at that. Pretty good. So would you say that that's your best match ever?
Probably, yeah.
Better than the Bobby Fish match?
I don't know. You'll have to watch it and let me know.
Oh, so now this is the next one that I'm going to have to hear about for 6 months?
Yeah, well, you made your own bed. Now sleep in it.
Well, if you want to see it, everybody,
I don't know.
If you want to see it, everybody, you can go to Google and just type in Kyle O'Reilly versus Tom Lawlor, and you will see the match. It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, I think it was like 15.
In the middleweight division.
That's usually about how long I go. Sometimes it's shorter, but...
Yeah, somebody should try and take you to the 16-minute mark. So now you're right outside of 3 rounds.
I try to get water at 5 minutes.
That's right. You got water in the middle of this match as well.
Yeah, because I'm used to it. Anyways, I got some bookings, Brian.
All right, let's hear them.
All right, this Friday for CRW Wrestling in Montreal. Then the next night in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, taking on Speedball Mike Bailey, C4 Wrestling Fighting Back 7. It's a benefit show. Check it out. August 19th, the Wrestling Observer and Future Stars of Wrestling are putting on a show here in Vegas in conjunction with the, Wrestling Observer Convention is what it is. So I'll be taking on Thomas Santel at that show, a litany of other notables as well. September 15th for AIW, who just booked a Brawl for All match at the end of August.
Oh, my God. Yep. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. September 23rd, I'll be taking on Matt Riddle. And in October, right now, I'll be taking on Simon Grimm, the former Simon Gotch, in Hermiston, Oregon for Prestige Wrestling.
Man, look at all these dates. What a superstar.
Yeah, that Brawl for All match should be awesome.
So you're in the Brawl for All?
No. Oh. I've been requesting a Brawl for All match with this guy, with Worldwide, who is part of Weird World, the tag team, which you and I should team up and take on these clowns.
Maybe.
Worldwide's a big fan of yours, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
So they're trying to take me out.
Yeah, essentially. He's trying to make his name. He's trying to make his name off of you.
I figured. Terrible.
He's trying to do. But I think if we took him on in a brawl for all, we'd defeat him for sure.
Oh God, you want me to take him on in a brawl for all?
Yeah, you and me, a tag team brawl for all.
Oh my God.
Filthy Tom Lawlor and Bryan Chico Alvarez versus Worldwide and Weird Body, the team of Weird World.
Well, if we agree that I won't tag in, I'll think about it.
You can't shoot a takedown on a guy named Weird Body.
Well, I've never seen it.
He weighs like 90 pounds.
I mean, this could be a a ringer.
No, he makes Wang look throbbing. He's so skinny.
On that note, everybody, we're out of time. We're gonna wrap it up here for today. At Filthy Tom Lawlor on Twitter, at Bryan Alvarez. Check it out. I'll be back later on tonight with